Hi, welcome to our second edition of Dive Master Reviews. Today we're going to be looking at bolt snaps. So famous XDEEP bolt snaps versus the standard bolt snaps that you get pretty much from anywhere. These are from Nautilus diving. So a little bit of a look at the details of each one. Hopefully we'll compare, contrast them. We've taken the time to measure each one. We've taken the time also to get the weights of each one. So you guys should have all the information you need to make a nice informed decision. All right. So let's take a look and see the range on offer from both Nautilus and from XDEEP. Okay, so if we take a quick look, the first one that we've got over here is the three ones from XDEEP. Okay, we have the XDEEP 120mm double-ended bolt snap. We have the cold water style, okay, 116mm single-ended bolt snap, and we have an 82mm single-ended bolt snap, a small version. Compare that to the Nautilus range. We have 120mm bolt snap, so comparable. We have a cold water bolt snap, which is comparable, 110mm compared to 116mm. We have a 76mm bolt snap on the Nautilus side compared to the 82 on the XDEEP. And again, one of the things that we quite like from the Nautilus, and we use a little bit, is the 64mm really small bolt snap here from Nautilus, and we use that generally for things like long hoses where you want it right out of the way. So let's go and have a quick bit of detailed look at each individual one. So we'll start by comparing the small end, and then we'll work towards the bigger end. So on the XDEEP side, this is the XDEEP small bolt snap. So it's a compact small bolt snap. It's 82mm long, and it's 36 grams. So it's not very heavy at all. They do rattle a little bit. I don't know if you can hear the rattling there. And they've got the XDEEP brand on the side. The nice things about these is they've kind of got this little step out here. And they're off center slightly, so they're quite cool. The idea is the compact eye is used for attaching things like long hoses. This is used for attaching things like long hoses, lights and stuff like that. Very small eye on the bottom there that helps you to get hold of it. So that'll be tied onto whatever you're going to tie it onto. You've then got this 14mm opening, the 14mm opening, and a flat push down release for the gate. Okay, these are all made out of 316 AI SI stainless steel, so you shouldn't see them rust at all. They've got a nice round hook at the top. That means it's very easy to clip on, and should be easy for it to slide out again as well. Anti-Tangle Trigger. So what do you mean by anti-tangle trigger? All the XDEEP's got this anti-tangle trigger. So if I was to show you a piece of line, so I'll take out a piece of cave line and pop it across there, and then we say, okay, so let's take a look at the ability for the bolt snaps on the back of it. If I was to take this along and catch on a line, what you'll see is it's going to catch, but again, as soon as I move off, it's going to come undone. If I was to look at that compared to something like the Nautilus one, which has got a little on the back of it, you see a little step. If I pop that in there, that's going to then get caught and isn't going to come off so well from our line. So it's got an anti-tangle device built on the back of the trigger. Okay, so let's put these back in line. The nice thing about them is this little step on the back. If you put your finger on, what you're going to do is hold it in the palm of your hand and open it with the side of the thumb. It means that you've got something to support here with this thumb, with this forefinger, so index finger on the side there. It means you can open and clip away nice and easily. A lot of people asked, how easy is that to do with dry gloves on? Of course, we'll show you. So we'll take a underglove. So nice thick 4th element G1 glove liner. We'll then take a really quite thick outer dry glove with the Santee Smart Seal system on. We'll pick that up, and again, as you can see, it's quite easy to manipulate the clip round and round in my fingers. When I'm ready to open it, what I'm going to do is just put it into the right place, get my finger underneath there, and I can open that quite easy. So here, again, I can open from the side. What you'll notice is there's a long throw inside the trigger, so the trigger will come right back, and that allows me, I don't really want to use the front of my thumb because I'll get stuff caught in it. We should be taught to use the side of our thumb, but it does give me room to get even my big thick thumb in this glove right down and allow me plenty of room to be able to attach that on. Okay, so open that up. There's quite a lot of room there to allow me to clip on. So not hard to use at all, actually, even with a really thick dry glove on. They are a little bit rattly, but other than that, they're quite cool. Okay, compare that to the Nautilus version. So this is the one we like for long hoses personally. This is the 64mm. It's really quite small if you look at it in the size in the palm of my hand. Again, similar thing though, it's not that difficult to do. Basically, once you've got it on your hose, you're going to open up in exactly the same way. You'll notice though that when I push down, the throw of the clip doesn't go all the way down, and that means that I don't quite get enough room to get my thumb out of the way. Okay, it's enough, but there's not loads. Compare that to this one. This is our 76mm, which is the similar offering from Nautilus, but quite a big difference in price. And again, it opens. This one actually is a little bit stiffer in the gate. So one of the things I like about the XDEEPs is the tension required to push the gate down. So let's pop this glove off, and I'll show you the two. So if I put two gates side by side and I try and push them down with equal pressure. So let's see if I can do this with the same pressure. You'll notice the XDEEP one really isn't opening at all. I have to really get some force behind that to be able to open it. Try it the other way to make sure I'm not cheating. There we go, look. So more force required to open the Nautilus one than required to open the XDEEP. Okay, good and a bad thing. You don't want it to come undone automatically. You do want that spring to keep it shut, but again, well, nice and easy to open, especially when we've got thick gloves on. A little bit of a wiggle, look, if you notice. There's a bit of a fit intolerance. That doesn't mean that it moves up and down in here quite smooth. One of the things I like to check with these bolt snaps is right here on this part. This is the part here that catches your fingers when you've not got gloves on, and that is a little bit sharp. Take a look on this one, and that again, quite sharp. So you kind of get a little file and just round those off, and that makes your life a little bit easier. So what do we got in terms of weights? The XDEEP one is 36 grams. The little small one here is 20, and this one here is 37. So 37 and 36, same size, roughly the same weight. Nice and simple. £9.95, £6.50. So quite a big difference in price between the two. Okay, and the little one is only £5.95. Again, a little bit lighter, a little bit smaller. Okay. Next thing we're going to move on to is the single-ended bolt snaps. Okay, we have a cold water single-ended bolt snap from Nautilus and a XDEEP 116mm single-ended bolt snap. You can see the difference quite straight away. If I move these two just for a minute, okay, you'll see that the two, they've got the offset design here, and that offset design means that when you're taking your stage bottle or you're taking your side mounts, that actually you can get a good grip of the central spindle without having to actually hold it here and have your hand overreach to get back to the center spindle. So that kind of overreaching there. In terms of put them side by side, so you can see the size difference, not a lot in it, to be honest with you. And you can see now a little bit clearly maybe that offset distance that we're talking about there. Nice and round, so you can get your dry glove in. Same thing with the design here. Basically, it gives you an advantage so that when your finger's through the bolt snap, it's optimized. This means that when you're going to be able to mount your side mounts, especially when you've got a bit of weight in them, it's a little bit easier to put on. Let me just line that up there. Personal preference for the price, you see they're both, one's £9.95, one's £11.95, not much in it. If it was me, I'd go for the XDEEP one here. I'm going to put a glove on again so you guys can see. With a cold water bolt snap, same thing. I'm going to put my finger in there, but now I'm going to have to pull this quite tight in to be able to get enough of my finger to get that knuckle around the bend to be able to open it. With the XDEEP one, I don't have to try so hard, so I pick up the XDEEP one. I don't have to reach so far with that finger. I don't have to pull it right in to my hand to be able to get my other finger around. So I'm going to open it with the side of the thumb, and that again will mean that that one's really easy to slip away with. So nice. Actually, that's probably one of the best out of the range in my personal opinion. We're going to look now at the 120mm double-ended bolt snaps. 120mm double-ended bolt snaps here. We've got $11.95 and $8.49, so $11.95 from the XDEEP, $8.49 from the Nautilus range. In terms of size, weight, this is 58 grams, and this one here is 74, 58 to 74. So this is a bit of a beast actually, and this is the cold water version as well. So you can see the cold water version has this flat step on them. The flat step again, same as the XDEEP, has the no line catch built on the back. They've both got the same length of runner, so they both push down exactly the same distance. They make a note of telling you the XDEEP one's a 14mm opening here. So I just want to show you guys something when we take a look at the size of the openings. So if I take a look here, you'll see that, let's start with the 10 actually. Okay, you'll see that the opening here is 14mm on the XDEEP, so as advertised, and on the Nautilus is opening size is 13. Okay, so there's a 1mm in the opening, so it's not such a big difference to be honest with you. Both open quite well. Both of them move very, very smooth and very, very easily. They click back into place. There's very little adjustment room or wiggle room on either of these. I'm going to pop upon my dry glove again just to show you guys how it works with the dry glove. Double-ended bolt snaps, things great for things like putting stuff in your pocket, putting your clip in your SMB away, securing stuff like backups if you need to. Let's take a look at the XDEEP one. Again, same thing. Once I get hold of it, I've got a really nice ledge there to be able to get my finger underneath, so I can get my finger right on that ledge there. Open with the side of the thumb. I'm good to go. Hold it in the palm. Open that way. If I hold it this way and open like that, then I don't really have the need for that underside ledge there. Same on this one. Again, if I put it in the palm of my hand and open it with the side of the thumb, again, I don't really need that ledge or that ledge there. I'm just gripping it. But if I'm going to be doing things where I need to be able to put some weight against it, then of course I've been able to put my thumb against the side and there as well. So put them back in their original places. Let's give you a little roundup of them. We have Nautilus and XDEEP 120mm bolt snaps, $11.95, £8.49. We've got 74 grams on this big boy over here, and we've got 58 grams over here. These both pretty much the same thing. Nice if you're buying all XDEEP, stay with the XDEEP, but in general, stick with the cheaper one here. For the XDEEP, now we come to the cold water bolt snaps. Both really, really good. However, I would go for the XDEEP one in this time. This is $11.95 compared to $9.95. In terms of weight, we're down to 48 grams for the XDEEP and 57 grams for the Nautilus. Both stainless, both got the same travel and everything. So out of the two, I'd probably pick the XDEEP one. The smaller bolt snaps, we've got the 82mm and 76mm, $9.95 and £6.50 between the two. Of course, you've got the little line trap issue on this one. So again, I'd probably select the XDEEP one, unless I'm using it for long hose, in which case I would go for the little 64mm at £5.95. Ideally this here, it's not perfect, this little line trap on it, so I would maybe grind that back. Hopefully in the future, we get something a little bit smaller from XDEEP with that same anti-trap device on it. But $5.95 and $6.50, these are two probably my choices. So if I was to set up my own collection, what would I go for? I'd go for probably these bolt snaps here. Okay, so stick with the XDEEP, big one for your side mounts, for your stages and stuff like that. Long hose, either one of these two. If it's a backup torch or something you want to clip away permanently, then this is quite nice. And then the 120mm from Nautilus for your double enders, just because it's nice and weighty, keeps everything down, and it's got all the same features as the Nautilus, just for less money. That's the range. I'll put them back out again in order so you can see what they all are. It's a bit difficult to do actually upside down. There we go. There they are, all in order. Hopefully you guys got an idea about what the bolt snaps do, what they're for, a little bit of an idea of the cost and stuff there as well. Our videos that we're going to keep making are going to be reviews. We use all these bolt snaps, so they're all products that we use on a regular basis and that get tested by us. If there's something that you think that you want to see a review of, please let us know. I'm pretty sure we can get our hands on it if we don't already have it and have it already tested. It will take us a little bit of time to get it tested, but from there we'll be able to do it and get you a nice review video. So let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for your time, guys.